and welcome to the Daily Spell. It's Tarot Thursday. I am Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Finding Jules. Jules, thanks so much for joining me tonight. Can
Thank
you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I'm actually based out of St. Louis, Missouri. My business, Finding Jules Psychic, we've been around for 15 years. We focus on private parties, fairs, corporate events, things like that. And yeah, we're just having a good old time traveling around the Midwest and slinging cards and doing tea leaf readings.
That sounds like an awful lot of fun.
It is.
Hi, Michael. Good to see you tonight. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I see we've got some people watching now. And tell us a little bit about the deck you're working with.
Yeah, so I use what's called the Goddess Oracle. Here, I'll even give you guys a little close up. She's a little old and beat up. She's been with me since I started, but she has gorgeous imagery. It's all
Oh,
goddesses
it's
from
very
different
clear.
cultures. And this is my main deck, my go-to. I use it all the time.
Great. Hi, Caredware. Hope you are good, and I hope Nimue is well. Good to see you. And if anyone has a question for us, you can go ahead and post it in chat. Hi, Angela Rose. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you. Mary meet Gwendolyn. Hi, Julie. Good to see everybody. I'm good, Angela. How are you? And Caredware says that Nimue popped in. Nimue is a kitten, by the way. A black kitten. Every wizard needs a black kitten. So Nimue popped in, but then ran away from Munchies. And Renee would like a general reading. All right, Renee. So we'll each pull 3 cards for you and see what we get.
I see that Angela is also wanting to be on the list too.
All right. Oh, Angela, I'm sorry. Well, you asked first, but I said Renee, and that's who I was talking about. So you're next. Hey, Brian, how's it going, bro? Okay, so the first card I've got for you, Renee, is Mind. It's a Major Arcana card, and this one is about thinking things through. So, in your current situation, you need to be considering your options carefully. Then we have the King of Wands. So we are looking at a situation that is overall doing well. If this relates to a man, to a person, then we're looking at a man who has things well in hand. But I'm feeling more like this is a situation possibly relating to work, and it is going to wind up well. And then we have the King of Pentacles, a lot of king energy here. Pentacles being around the material realm. So this is about having the resources you need. So I'm going to say in your current situation, while you need to plan carefully, you will have the resources you need in a favorable outcome. Now, what have you got,
It
Jules?
sounds pretty good. So my first card that I pulled up is Lilith. She is all about personal empowerment, letting you know that you are capable of everything you need to do, that you have the personal wisdom, that you have the education, that you have all of the resources around you needed to take the next few steps. And the next few steps look like they center around your passion and about possibly your work. So, what is it in your work, or is it a side hobby or hustle, if you will, that you feel really passionate about? Because if you are thinking about going off your own, making your own schedule, being the boss of your own life, the cards are telling me that right now is the perfect time for it because you have everything that you need to make it the most successful adventure, trip, or path that you'll be able to go down right now.
All right. Hope you find that helpful, Renee. And now we will pull cards for Angela. And you asked for a general reading. Brian, you just got in from work. You worked awfully late, my brother. Making sure to shuffle over my desk so I don't have to dive underneath it. Hey, Fluffy, tell Baxter I said hi. I'm glad that worked for you, Renee. And you can go ahead and go first if you're ready.
All right. So, Angela, the first card that I'm getting is an illusion card. I don't know if you can see her very well, but she is all about lifting the veil from the falsities that we tell ourselves. So, there is either a situation or a person that you're kind of not being very honest with yourself about right now. And that's okay. That's normal. A lot of us do that as kind of like a protective manner and shield. But at this time, I do believe that the cards are suggesting that you pull your energy back and you focus more on centering yourself and eliminating any of the self-doubt that they may have been putting towards you. You are in a good place right now if you just listen to yourself and not to your outside sources. I feel like if you were to pull that energy back in and center, you're going to have a lot more growth and a lot more knowledge as to where you can go in the upcoming future. I think you're also going to be able to make a lot more changes to the cycles that may have be occurring around you right now. And I hope that makes sense right now.
Wow. So the first card I pull is Fortune. And this shows us the goddess and the god spinning the wheel of time together. And this is talking about cycles. Our lives are made up of cycles and things change. So, whatever your situation is now, remember it's not permanent and things will change, and be prepared to change. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles. Aces are always around good fortune in their suit, and pentacles are around our wealth, our material possessions. So this is saying that you have the financial resources or the material resources to do what you want to in this situation. And then finally, we have the Hermit. And what the Hermit teaches us is that we have within ourselves what we need in this situation. So you need to rely on your own intuition, rely on your own reasoning in this particular situation, to move forward. Things are changing for you. You have the resources to move the way you want to, and you have everything you need within yourself to do so. So you can move forward confidently. And I hope that helps you.
Thank you for letting us read for you guys. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Does anybody else want a reading tonight?
I am excited to reach out and meet some new people. So if you have questions, I'm ready. I know Mary is too.
Yeah, we are ready. Getting the cards cleared out. All right. Do you have a specific question, Gwendolyn, or do you just want a general reading? All right, Julie, if you want a reading, just post your question in the chat and we will read for you. Okay, you're welcome, Renee. And Fluffy, that is Jason, wants to know, was the thing I just did a good idea? Well, it was your idea, Jason, so it was an off-the-wall idea. All right, so Gwendolyn asked first, and she would like a general reading, as would Julie, and then we'll go back to Jason. So, general reading for Gwendolyn. And Brandon wants a general reading. Okay. So we got readings stacking up here.
Sometimes my cards take a minute too. There they go. All right.
Okay, so the first card I've got is the Princess of Wands. And this represents, if it's a person, it's representing someone who is allowing themselves to be kind of bound by formality or the opinions of others, and they're not showing their full potential. It can also represent a situation that's not quite ready to come to fruition. Then we have the Three of Lamps. And this particular deck I read with, the Infinite Tarot, has a fifth suit, the Suit of Lamps, which represents spiritual matters. And in this is about using your spiritual gifts to help other people. You can see them sitting together communicating. So, this is about using the gifts you have to help others. And then finally, we have the Soul. And this is a major arcana card. And with the Soul, we are looking at the idea that it encompasses a lot of wisdom with the Soul. We have the idea of our own immortality, that we are souls progressing through a series of lifetimes, learning lessons. We have within us the connection to the divine, and the idea that you need to be accessing the wisdom you carry within yourself from your previous lifetimes. So you need to be connecting with your higher self in this case. So I hope you find that useful, Gwendolyn. And what have you got, Jules?
Well, it's so funny. I'm over here smiling because it's so interesting how our readings mesh together. And like with the first card that I got, it's a grief card. And it's about saying goodbye to the people or the situation that's no longer really serving your highest self. Um, and it doesn't always mean goodbye forever. Sometimes it just means because it's not ready yet. And that's okay. You can always come back to it later if you feel like you really are drawn to it. And then I got this wisdom card. She's actually really important because she talks about wisdom that's ancestrally based. So whether it be with your personal higher power or your own personal wisdom you've experienced before, or grandma and grandpa and everyone else, this card is all about you already know how to deal with the situation. You know how to say goodbye to it, and you know how to heal from it afterwards. This has either happened a few times before, or you just generally have the knowledge that you know what to do. And so the last card I got was actually a really nice one to finish it off with. It's about making sure that you give yourself enough time to play and honor yourself. Because after you go through a big movement like this, you're going to have to give yourself some time. So really take a moment, keep yourself steady, and allow yourself the freedom to enjoy it for what it is afterwards. You've cut off the fat of life that you don't need anymore. You don't need the extra stuff. Now is the time to enjoy the freedom that comes with it, okay? Thank you so much, Gwendolyn.
Okay, Gwendolyn. I'm glad you find that useful. Then Julie, then Jason, then Brandon. So Julie asked for a general reading. And the one thing I do find when I'm doing this with someone is a lot of times our readings will be saying similar things. When we're both working with a tarot deck, we will pull some of the same cards sometimes.
I just love it though. It always fascinates me. I did a lock-in graduation party on Monday once I got back into town. And the reader that I was with, we also had corresponding readings. And it's just always amazes me when that happens.
Yes, but it shows that we are in touch with spirit.
For sure. All right, Julie. Thank you for logging in and being a part of this too, by the way. I do appreciate my support people being on here and seeing me on a new platform and meeting new people. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. All right, so my first card is the Queen of Lamps. As I said, in this deck, lamps relates to spiritual matters. And the Queen of Lamps, you can see shown here with the moon and with the skin of an animal. And this is about mastering your spiritual gifts and mastering yourself through your spiritual gifts and being in a position of power. Then we have the Ace of Wands. And wands are the suit of air, the suit of intelligent learning, good fortune. A lot of times it can be associated with our job. So I feel like you have a lot of fortune coming that way. And then it just came up before and I shuffled and shuffled, but we have the Ace of Pentacles. So here we have a lot of good fortune in the material realm. So I'm going to say that you have been working on your spiritual path and coming into your own power, and through your own power, you are in a position to manifest the life you want to make for yourself, and you have the resources to do that.
I think that's pretty cool. All right, Julie. So you and I already have a connection. So I feel like my reading is picking up on something else. And I do think it mostly has to deal with some health stuff that you've been going through. So we have this card here, and she talks about making sure that you are not holding back any of the emotions that you're feeling as you progress through what it is you're going through. Making sure that you are reaching out to support people, making sure that you are letting them know, hey, I need help. This is really hard. Or letting your support people, hey, I could just really use your assistance today. This one over here is all about beliefs in yourself. And our belief in ourself evolves as we evolve. We go from thinking that we are incapable of anything to knowing and understand that we are capable of changing the world. Our world different changes. It might be a little bit more local, but that world is still changed. And I do believe that she is reminding us, or reminding you, that even as you progress down this path, you still have immense power to change not only things and how you see them, but the people around you. And then the last card here is about understanding that even if you feel upset or betrayed by your body, or even if you feel lost with how you may be going through things, you're not. You still have important people around you. You still have your support people. You still have the people who love you immensely. So make sure that you just keep going down and you keep evolving, because you have so much more to give. Okay? And I love you too.
Aw. Okay, so Fluffy, that is Jason, has given us 2 questions. The first one, he wants to know if what he just did was a good thing. And honestly, I'm going to pull 1 card for you, Fluffy. Aw, I'm glad it was meaningful. So I'm going to pull 1 card on that question, is what I'm feeling. And you handle that however you want to, Jules.
Okay.
And then we can do just a general reading for you. Well, I pulled the 3 of Cups, Fluffy. I'm going to say, yeah, it was a good thing.
How funny would it have been, though, if it was the 2 of Wands, like he mentioned in the comments?
Yeah, we did both pull the 2 of Wands.
All right. I think I'm ready. Okay. So overall, I think what you did was what you needed in that moment. And I think it will pay off. It will pay off in a different way, though. I think it's going to take you a little bit of mutating or evolving or changing your goals. But otherwise, you will see a good outcome for it. I mean, we have pursuit of passions. We have saying goodbye to the ideas that no longer serve you. And we have lifting the veil. So for me, all of those are talking about an evolution and how you're going to be going through it. So is it going to be beneficial? I would say so. Is it going to be different than how you saw it? I would also say that as well.
All right. And then just for a general reading for you, Fluffy. So my first card is the Prince of Pentacles. So Pentacles being the suit of earth, the suit of material things, and princes being air. So we have air and earth here. But you can, so this can represent a situation that is coming to fruition. This could also represent a younger man who is working on something and he is somehow involved with you. And that's kind of what I'm feeling really is this is going to involve some sort of business arrangement with a younger man. Next, and this is the one I giggled at, magic. So this card is a blank slate, and on it you have the power to draw whatever you wish. And finally, we have the Princess of Cups. Princesses represent earth, cups represent water. This is all about your emotions. So there's something trying to come to fruition, but being blocked a little emotionally. So, but you have the magic to power through that. And that's what I'm seeing here. So yes, you are looking at a profitable business relationship with a young man. You have the magic to make it work and bring about what's going on, whatever you need in your emotional life.
And so with Jason, what I get with you is this card here. It's all about managing your expectations and not allowing your anger or rage or your frustrations get the better of you. I would have to agree that this feels like some type of partnership, and they may want to push the envelope a little bit or possibly push some boundaries, and you're going to have to stand strong with that. I do believe that wholeheartedly. The cards are also wanting you to make sure that you take a little bit more of a playful approach with it. I think whoever ends up being or working with you, I guess, they might respond a little bit better to a more playful approach, making it a little bit more lighthearted, not quite so rigid or structured. And then the last one is very similar to Mary's, actually. It's all about nourishing. It's making sure that you are taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and that you're not letting things go by the wayside because you can't prioritize it. Because if you're not prioritizing yourself, then you certainly aren't going to get your dream off the ground. You have to make your well-being your first priority. So make sure that you're not throwing that to the wayside because you can't find time in the moment, okay?
All right. And then we've got a general reading for Brandon, and then we will get to Wrinkle's question. And at that point, we're caught up, I think.
All right.
And if I'm missing anybody, please post it in chat. I do not mean to miss you.
Just so you guys know, too, Brandon is my husband. I've never read his cards before, if you can believe it. This will be the first time.
All right. So the first thing I've got is 8 of Wands. And this is talking about a situation that just went foobar. Something did not go as planned, and everything is kind of up in the air. In this particular case, we have a couple running for their lives. So something got all messed up. The next card is the 4 of Wands. And this is about partnership. The card itself is showing a marriage. It doesn't have to be a romantic partnership. It could be a business partnership. And then finally, we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is showing the end of a cycle and bringing finally a lot of prosperity in the situation. So I'm going to say you had something go badly wrong in the fairly recent past, but you've been able to make some sort of partnership or alliance to help work through the situation. And it's a good one. And through this, you are going to not only regain what you lost, but you are going to wind up in a better position overall than where you started from.
Yeah. So, without putting my own personal spin on it, the first card you get is Death and Rebirth, which is saying goodbye to something that no longer serves you and hello to a whole new pathway, a whole new beginning. It is followed by a self-doubt card. So please stop doubting yourself. You are capable of it. You are more than capable of it. It's normal to have those worrisome feelings, but you just can't live there and have it stifle you in any way. And then the last card is about passions as well, making sure that you are actually following them and you pursue them, whatever they may be, whether it be, the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing or something else. Okay. Thank you for writing in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandon. And Rincall, I hope I'm saying your name right. Could you specify a little more about your question? Are you asking about your relationship with your husband or something else entirely? Okay, so I'll be happy to pull cards for you on that. Let me get shuffled here. My hands are slightly small to shuffle a deck this size. I have itty bitty hands.
I got this new deck fairly recently. It's absolutely massive. Look at the size difference. It's huge. Absolutely huge. This one barely fits my hands when I shuffle. I still haven't figured out how to shuffle those guys.
I have threatened to get a Vegas style card shuffler more than once.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea, actually.
On the theory that spirit will give me the cards I need no matter what.
I like that idea. Mine are not shuffling.
All right. So the first card I get for you is the Nine of Swords. And this indicates that there has been some sort of grief, heartache, some sort of emotional issue recently, but that we get the Five of Pentacles, which is showing someone prospering, a quite wealthy person. As you can see, they have several people working for them in the background. And we are finishing up with the Hierophant, and you're asking about your relationship with your husband. And the Hierophant calls us to consult with a higher power. The Hierophant being a priest or priestess. So I'm going to pull one more card here. And I get the Hanged Man. And, Rincall, sometimes we ask for a reading on one issue And Spirit says that's not what you need to hear about because I'm not seeing your relationship here. What I am, Tara, hey, good to see you. But what I am seeing here really does not have to do with your relationship. It has to do with you being called to work on your own self and your own spiritual path at this time by reaching out to deity, your ancestors, your higher self, whatever spiritual path you walk, you're being called to focus on that, is what I'm seeing. So I hope that's helpful, but sometimes the cards just say, hey, this is what we're talking about today.
Mine also isn't really concentrating on your relationship with your husband. It talks about if you're finding yourself in a situation where you find comfort in being where you are. So even if you may feel a little sad, a little anxiety filled, or if you have a little bit of depression right now, there's almost a sense of comfort and familiarity that's with this. The cards are talking about that right now, even if you are feeling overwhelmed, even if you're feeling lost or like you've lost your way, I only think it's going to last for just maybe about a month or so. And then you're going to be able to kind of focus more on the beauty that you see around you. I think that possibly doing a gratitude journaling in the morning when you wake up might help you kind of push through this and also be able to find your higher connection with how you want to heal through this. And I think the cards also want to talk about you making sure that you have really strong boundaries in place. And this is more concerned about yourself. This is making sure that if you find yourself going through a spiral again, or if you're feeling confused or lost, that you have really good tools in your mental health toolbox that can help you kind of come back out before you get too far deep. Whatever you're going through, I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, Rankal, I certainly hope our readings have helped you. And Lord Mike has asked for a general reading. And Tara, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It is something that I've just started recently doing, gratitude journaling. But it is very helpful to kind of reframe a lot of things and, I don't know, make you, even if it's just tiny things, like you're grateful because your lights came on today, or you're grateful because you had cold water in your fridge, or that you didn't get stopped by every red light in your town. I'm always grateful for that.
Good traffic flow is always something to be grateful for. Fun fact, you can make offerings to the god Trafficus to get where you're going in a timely manner.
All right.
You may, David. We will get to you in a second. I'm going to do a general reading for Lord Mike. And I will add that Tara is a bone reader.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. And what's the person's name that's up next?
We are reading for Michael Neal right now, and then David is next.
Thank you.
So the first card I've got for you, Lord Mike, is the Empress. And I'm tempted to say this represents your wife in your life. Since this is a very loving, nurturing, caring person, it's also a card of success. Next, we have the Queen of Swords. If this is representing a person, this is someone who has fought her battles and survived and learned quite a bit of wisdom from it. Can also be a situation that is about to come to fruition here. And finally, I'm quite sure this one's representing you. We have the Prince of Lamps. And this is representing the Suit of Lamps, represents the spiritual journey. With the Prince, we have someone who is perfecting their spiritual journey. We're also looking at air mixed with the Suit of Lamps. And of course, air is going to feed the fire in the lamp and just make it burn all the brighter. So overall, I'm seeing you surrounded by a lot of powerful energy right now. So I hope you find that helpful.
So with mine, we're talking about these cycles that you may be going through. And they're talking about on this next cycle, this almost like you're going to get a fire under your butt. Like you have to accomplish the things. You have to check off your to-do list. And it feels very spiritual. Like you have this to-do list of, okay, I need to become, whatever, whatever type of priest or some type of title of that sort. They're talking about becoming some type of higher up in your belief system and working with that energy. And because of that, it's like it's accelerating you forward to even more. I wouldn't call it success, but I would call it fulfillment. I think that's a really great way to say it. So I think they're just letting you know that you're going to get a fire under your butt real soon and you're going to have to get all the things done. And I feel like the cards are suggesting that within the next couple of months is a really good time to focus on that spirituality and what you can do to serve yourself and other people.
Okay, well, Lord Mike, I hope you find that helpful. And Fluffy, have a great evening. Tell Joe I said hello. And woof woof to Baxter. And David, of course, you may have a reading. Let us get shuffled up here.
Do you mind if I take this one first?
Not at all.
All right. So, David, hi. The first one I got is new opportunities coming forward. It's almost like being flooded with the different paths that you could go down. They're also talking about whenever you're choosing which path you want to follow, making sure that it's the one that's going to that's going to serve your highest self, I should say. This is talking about saying goodbye to old habits or hobbies or even ideas that no longer serve you. They're also talking about making sure that you have the right people sitting at your table, that you're not telling yourself sweet lies about who the people are and why they should be there. So if you know or you have a feeling that someone is there for their own personal gain, maybe it's a good time to kind of distance yourself and say, hey, wait a second, if you can't be for me, then maybe we need to take some time apart. But if you haven't started seeing the new opportunities, I do think they will start arriving within the next month or so. This is going to be like a communication, new relationships being made that are going to serve you in a really good manner going forward, as in like expanding business or knowledge in some way, okay?
Okay, so my first card is Judgment. And as you can see, the person represented here is seated on the lotus petal. We see their chakras. And we see the Kundalini serpent coming up. This is about completion. You have completed something and you've completed something. You put a lot of time and energy into it, and you are getting ready to move on to something else. The next card we have is the Emperor, and the Emperor represents temporal power. And he's talking about the cycles of time, and especially that whatever is going on now will come to an end. And then finally, we've got the Ten of Cards, and Reverend Donald Lewis, who created this deck, was a little whimsical with the Ten of Swords, and we have a severed head here. But actually, we are talking about the end of a cycle here. So I've got all kinds of end of cycles energy. And it really means off with the old and on with the new. So what I'm seeing here is that things are winding up one cycle, and I'm going to pull one more card. And we've got the universe, which it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's not solid black. It's black with the stars. So, yes, things are going to come up well for you. Is what I'm seeing here. And Lord Mike, you are very welcome. I'm glad that was helpful. Hi, Samantha. Good to see you. Joanne, you like Trafficus? It's Trafficus. 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 He has one green eye and one red eye. Thank you, David. I'm glad you found that helpful. And we're getting up near the top of the hour. We could take one more question if anybody has. Tara just asked for one. All right. So Tara's going to be our last reading for the evening. General pull.
And this is the Tara who is the bone thrower, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I was doing my little shuffle and meditating for you because I thought you were next on the list. So I'm going to go ahead and go if that's cool with you, Mary.
All right.
So the first one that I have is all about selfhood, and she represents taking charge of things. And a lot of the time for me, that she represents like starting one's own business or something like that, or just focusing on their own private work that doesn't really have outside influence. The next card that comes up is all about laughter. And then one right after that is about personal wisdom. So when all of these cards are lined up, it's telling me to take things a little bit more lighter. Oh my goodness, I'm so tongue-tied, sorry. But take things light and take things lighthearted and make sure that you're enjoying things and that you're not pummeling yourself into the ground because you think you have to accomplish a certain goal right now. They also talk about the personal power that you have and how over the next few months it's going to be smart to kind of conserve that and make sure that you are just really focusing on enjoying things, because I think near the end of summer you're going to feel pulled a little thin. Not in like a negative way, but I think that everyone's just going to want a piece of you and be part of your life and see what you're up to. And so it might be a little bit more difficult for you to have that separation and that alone time. All right, everything's going to get crazy. No.
Tara, hush. We're in the process of building a new house. It should be ready mid-August. We're also going to Chicago for the Parliament of World Religions. We're part of a group of people from the Correllian tradition who are going there the second week in August. And then when I get back, we're getting right into the crazy season for Pagan Pride Day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's why I just started laughing.
That is a lot for sure.
I have no doubt things are going to be crazy the end of the summer.
Well, thank
And I
you
will
for
just
letting
have
me.
to keep laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, quick reading for Tara. And then I will do one for you. All right, Tara. So the first card I get for you is the Ten of Cups. Happy family card. So emotionally with you and your family, things are going well. Next card is a major arcana card called Heart. And what this means is whatever your current situation is, you are deeply involved emotionally and you can't separate your emotions from it. And finally, we've got the moon. So you can see it looks a little like Stonehenge. Maybe hard to see on camera, but there are people dancing around the fire inside the triptychs. So that is saying that with your current situation, you need to be employing magic, your higher powers, to bring it about. To get the outcome you want in your current situation. Yeah, I miss you too, Tara. Hey, Dandelion, nice to see you. Okay.
All right. So I have a couple of cards as well. I have a justice one, finding the balance. Finding the balance between things. And then you have a passions and a synthesis card. So this is talking about finding the balance between your passions and finding balance between the things that you find the most comfort with. Making sure that you are balancing them appropriately and that you are just utilizing them both the way that you need to at this time. With everything going on, and I think it would be a good idea to make sure that you have, your support system in place for both of them.
Okay, and let me get 3 cards for Jules, and this will be the last thing we do. Tonight, I want to thank everyone for joining us. This has been so much fun.
Thank you.
Yep, happy Tarot Thursday.
This was awesome being on here, and you guys were really cool and inviting, so I appreciate it a lot.
All right, so the first card I've got is the Seven of Swords. So this is kind of the uphill battle card. So the situation you're in, victory is possible, but it's going to take some work.
All right.
Next, we have the Six of Swords. And with the Six of Swords, this is about working together. So don't do it all by yourself. Whatever the battle is, don't do it all by yourself.
As a Capricorn, though, you know I have to. Like, that is a hallmark feature.
Whap with the cards. Don't do it all by yourself. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the great readings. And finally, we've got the stars. And this is another card that's saying in this situation, you need to reach out to your higher power. You need to get some help. However you perceive that, deity, your higher self, ancestors, spirit guides. But do reach out for help and clarity in this situation. You can achieve what you want, but you need help on the human plane and on the spiritual plane to do it. So chuck that Capricorn nonsense out the window.
You got it. Well, I appreciate the reading, Mary.
You are welcome. Okay, you are welcome, Tara. Holly Cherry, good to see you. I want to thank everyone who's joined us tonight and done readings. This is always fun for me. Jules, thanks so much for joining me. We're going to go ahead and sign off now, and I'll be back next Thursday with Tarot Thursday. Blessed be, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.